This lesson on academic writing skills is about writing an effective research title. We begin with the introduction to learn why do research titles matter. Then we move on to introduce the features of an effective research title and how to write an effective research title. Finally, we'll have comprehension check to help review what we have learned. First, let's start with the introduction. Why do research titles matter? The research title can help readers to locate a research more easily during a keyword search, to predict the content of a research based on the title, and to attract readers by the title. Which are the reasons why do research titles matter? Next, let's learn the features of an effective research title. An effective research title has the following features. First, it can help predict the content of a research paper. Second, it can stimulate readers' interest. Third, it can reflect the writing tone. And fourth, it includes important keywords. Let's take a research title as an example. This title, Advantages of Professional Development for the Teaching Profession, a qualitative investigation, can help the readers to predict the content, and it also contains important keywords such as professional development, teaching profession, and qualitative. But this title is not interesting and does not reflect the tone. Another example is Voices of Experience, a qualitative research on how instructors develop English for academic courses for tertiary education. This title meets all the four criteria. It can help readers predict the content about qualitative research in English for academic purpose courses. It's also interesting and can reflect the tone with the wording, Voices of Experience. So after learning the features of an effective research title, let's turn to learn how to write an effective research title. An effective research title should include four major elements, which are topic or focus, method, subject or participant, and results. For example, in the title, Voices of Experience, a qualitative research on how instructors develop English for academic purpose courses for tertiary education. The result, Voices of Experience, is brought out based on the qualitative research, and the topic focuses on how instructors develop English for academic purpose courses. In another example, teaching how to say no politely is the result, and it is a qualitative study on pragmatic competence. The participants are university learners in business English program. Now let's move on to know more about how to write an effective research title with an emphasis on some basic principles. The first principle is to indicate accurately the subject and scope of the study, which means that the title should give readers a precise summary of the content, and it should be brief and have a focus. Second, make the title comprehensible, simple, and concise, between 10 and 15 words in length. The next principle is to use terminology and academic style appropriate for the field. Let's move on to the fourth principle. Make the title in the form of a noun phrase or a question form. The other two principles are to avoid unnecessary words and avoid using abbreviations, acronyms, and jargons in the title. The seventh principle is to use active verbs to add impact in the title. Another principle is to make sure that we make a strong title with three essentials: keywords, emphasis, and impact. The last principle is to make sure that we use correct grammar and capitalization in a research title. Sometimes we can add a subtitle to create an effective research title. Adding a subtitle is important because a subtitle can explain or provide additional context, add variety to a provocative title, qualify the geographic scope of the research, or qualify the temporal scope of the research. Adding a subtitle is a common practice in social science research. Now let's move on to learn the 5 steps to help us construct an effective research title. Step 1 is to ask yourself the questions as listed in the right-hand column and write keywords for the answers to these questions, such as what is the research about, what is the research design, and what techniques are used, what is the research context, and what are the research findings. In Step 2, you can use the answers in Step 1 to list keywords. Step 3, create a sentence to include all of the keywords in no more than 15 words. Step 4 is to reread the title and try to delete the unnecessary or repetitive words and reword the title. The last step is to decide if a subtitle is necessary. Let's look at the examples of research title. To keep a title simple, brief, and thought-provoking, we should avoid using words that are too detailed, such as for online learning, for learners, or for teachers in the first example. And we should also avoid abbreviations and jargon, such as L2 and EAP in the second example. We need to change them into second language and English for academic purpose. So after learning how to write an effective research title, let's move on to check what we have learned. In the following part, please answer the questions. What are the 4 elements required in the research title? What can be avoided in writing a research title? And what is the length of words in the research title? Next, let's check the answer. First, the elements required in the research title are topic, method, sample, and result. Second, we should avoid unnecessary words and jargons and abbreviations. Third, when writing a research title, do not use more than 15 words. Finally, let's review what we have learned in this lesson about writing an effective research title. An effective research title can help the readers to predict the content of the research paper, stimulate readers' interest, reflect the writing tone, and include keywords to present the method, topic, sample, or result. And the 5 steps of writing an effective research title are as follows. Step 1. Ask the questions to yourself and write keywords for the answers. Step 2. Use your answers in Step 1 to list keywords. Step 3. Create a sentence within 15 words to include the keywords listed in Step 2. Step 4. Delete the unnecessary or repetitive words and reword the title. Step 5. Decide if a subtitle is necessary. Thank you for joining the lesson. The lesson is created by the Academic Writing Module Group at CCU and is funded by the Ministry of Education.